Hello everyone, Richard here at Calvin Wazoo, bringing you another video. And I'd love to fly you to Jupiter Island. But as you can see from, the opening sequence, I went to a new record store. And as you can see behind me, I'm in my new place, but nothing is really set up. I'm still trying to figure out, okay, like where am I going to do my recording? Still working out issues like lighting, and I'll do a video eventually of how I've set up my system in the living room. My listening room is still a living room. This is a open floor plan duplex, so it's got a lot of like space to it. But so far, things sound good, but I've got to, I still got to hang stuff on the walls, so that'll come later. A little bit of a tour. Although I do really like the place. I mean, I've got this like woods behind me where I have fireflies at night, and there's wildlife out here and right outside my window. In the past, in Chicago, it was easy for me to walk down to the lake shore, and there were, woods and trees in natural areas. So a lot of variety of birds there, but I've got a lot of variety of birds, just right out my window here. So yeah, that will come later. But as I said at the beginning, I went to a record store in Grand Haven, Michigan. Now I'm in Holland, Michigan. And for the first week that I don't own a car, but I did rent one for like 10 days because I knew I needed to like run errands and get things. And so I needed a vehicle to get things done quickly. And one day I decided, I'm going to go up to Grand Haven. That's the closest record store to me, unless I go to Grand Rapids. And off the record is as you can see from, the video I took inside the store, it's a very cool, very eclectic store, and quite an interesting variety. I mean, I was finding records that I was aware of and had been sort of on the hunt for a long time, and seldom saw them in Chicago record stores, and here they were in Grand Haven, Michigan. Benji is the name of the proprietor, very nice guy, and always working on his inventory. So it's mostly focused on rock and more contemporary rock music as well, but old rock music as well. There is some jazz and some blues there, but it's definitely more towards the rock and folk. And they do bluegrass, live bluegrass there every Friday, which, unfortunately I'm not necessarily going to be able to make because I don't have the car anymore. But anyway, spent some money there, got a lot of records, and then I also got a couple records that came in the mail just before I moved. So I don't have any needle drops because this is going to be a fairly long video, or I'm going to try and not turn it into a fairly long video with the needle drops. So for this time, we're just going to be talking about it. And the first record I got here is Birth Defects, is the name of the band, and it's Deceiver Mirror. Okay, so this is a noise rock album that I first learned about from Stunty. He interviewed the members of the band. So here's the cover, and then we have, here's the back cover, inside. And so during the interview, they were talking about how this album was going to be available in Bandcamp. So I went to Bandcamp and I listened. There was one song that was available. Well, actually, the whole album was available. And when I listened to the first song, it was like, boom, I bought it. Really, really solid. As I say, it's noise rock with kind of a punk edge. And we're talking definite influences here from Nirvana and Pixies. It's not reductive, but it is what direction, I just feel like it's, what direction would Nirvana have gone? And Pixies had gone, had they continued to be. It's the nice colored, this translucent, kind of milky translucent vinyl with this black blob. Very cool. Let me check and see if there's a download card. I think there might be a download card. No, yeah, there is. Get the insert here. Come here. And come on. There we go. So here's the download card. Freeze that so that you can, if you're the lucky one to be first to get it. But yeah, this is, I really enjoyed this. It's noise rock, okay? And, but man, I do like this music, and I was really lucky to catch that interview that Stunty was doing with the band members. So there we have that one. Then another one that came in the mail that I ordered before I moved from Chicago, and that is this one here. I've talked about this band before, Subsonic Eye. Okay, and this is Singapore Dreaming. Singapore Dreams, or yeah, Singapore Dreaming. Band is from Singapore. And no download card for you. But we do have, it's on this really nice kind of blood orange vinyl. It's got the insert with the song lyrics. And yeah, Subsonic Eye is a dream pop kind of shoegaze. I really, really like them. We reviewed them on the Gunkles one time, one of their other albums. And I've seen them perform in a very, very small venue bar in Chicago, Shuba's. And I just really like it. I really like their music. I like their style. But the other Gunkles weren't that impressed with them. So, listen to them online. I think they're really, really quite good. I enjoy their music. I don't think it's sophomoric or juvenile. I think this is some solid music. Now moving on to the store off the record there in Grand Haven, and going through, I spent a fair amount of time in the store going through, not so much, when they had cards up for specific bands, but going through the alphabet where, there were no cards, like going through all the A's and all the B's, etc., to see what else was there. And so I found a couple, they were blind buys because I asked the guy there in the store, I asked, I forget his name, Benji, in the store if he knew anything about these, and he didn't. And one of them is this one here. This is Fables in a Foreign Land, John Doe. And I was just really taken with this cover art. Got the back cover. You see if there's a download card. No, there is not. But yeah, I just thought, okay, we've guys performed live in the studio by the John Doe Folk Trio with Kevin Smith on upright and electric bass, harmony, Conrad Chokron on drums and percussion and harmony, and John Doe vocals and acoustic guitar. Now there's a few other people, a few other people who contribute to this. So I had no idea. I'm gonna buy it. And then that's when I get home, that's when I find out that John Doe is the John Doe of X, the punk rock band from LA. And I'm like, okay, this is really quite cool. And this is folk country kind of world music that's going on here. It's not punk music, but it has, with John Doe's lyrics and songwriting, and even to a degree, his singing style, even though it's quieter and more subdued, it still has that rawness and energy of punk rock. The songs, he's still writing songs, very straightforward, without pretense. It's a live studio recording, all right? So you've got the basic trio, but then there are some other people who contribute on a few of the songs. Like on one of the songs, El Romanzo, he got some songwriting help from Texas songwriter Terry Allen, as well as Luis Perez of Los Lobos. And then on some other songs, you can hear Kerry Rodriguez on fiddle and Josh Baca on accordion. But yeah, these are really good songs. And his voice, John Doe's voice, is good. It's great. It's a solid voice, and he's solid in X, and he's definitely solid on this project. So, and he's apparently done a few other side projects outside of X, and I'll have to kind of check them out. Interesting, reading up about how that this is kind of the gig that he was involved in at first, but when he met Exene, then that's kind of how the punk rock band X, came into being. But anyway, if you ever see this and you like X and you like John Doe's songwriting in X, I'm going to take a guess and say you'll like this. But be prepared. It's not X. It's not punk rock. But the same energy and songwriting and delivery is there. The spirit is still there. Now another one that was a blind buy, not totally blind, but again I was intrigued by the cover, and that's this one here, Beat Poetry for Survivalists. And I saw Peter Buck down here, okay? So I thought, okay, something here with Peter Buck from REM. Luke Haines, though I really didn't know anything about Luke Haines. And I do not have a download card for this. And again, I asked Benji if he knew anything about this, and no, he didn't. Kind of looked it up in Discogs to try and get a sense of, well, what is this? Is it poetry reading or what, And no, it's kind of, again, a punky folk kind of style of music. And you've got Luke Haines. He's a singer and songwriter who had worked with Beider Meinhof, the Auteurs, and his voice is a bit different. Some people might not like his vocal style, but the songs are. I'm gonna have to give this more listens, but the songs are good. Opening track is Jack Parsons, who is someone who blooms blew himself up in his Pasadena home rocket laboratory in 1952. 25 years later, 11-year-old Janet Hodgson was photographed flying around the bedroom of her parents' council house in Enfield, Greater London. I don't know what the hell that's all about. There's just some odd songs. Track 4, Beat Poetry for the Survivalist. And this is what little blurbs that are written for each one. It says, a Captain Beefheart trout mask replica tote bag retails at around 70 pounds. A replica Anderson air raid shelter can be bought for 400 pounds. You will need both to protect you in the event of oblivion. So you've got this very tongue-in-cheek attitude, in just the liner notes for the songs. And it's good. It's, as I said, Luke Haines' singing style may take a little bit to get used to. And to me, some people may not really like it, but it doesn't bother me. And Peter Buck, his instrumentation and what he adds to this recording is really quite remarkable. I'm definitely giving this a solid 4 rainbows. And by the way, the John Doe album, Fables in a Foreign Land, that's another 4 rainbow record. Subsonic Eye, I would give it 4 rainbows. And Birth Defects, another solid 4 rainbow record. These are all really, really good records, but also all really, really quite different. And then as I'm going through all the records, I see this one come up. And I'm like, woohoo, I'm getting this. Yeah, that is this one here. It's Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros. This is live at Acton Town Hall. The OG was released for Record Store Day in 2012. This is a 2023 clear vinyl limited edition reissue. So let me pull out the vinyl here. It's got the typical label on the record that you would see with a Mescaleros record, but nice clear vinyl and really well recorded live. This is an excellent recording. And I think this might have, I'll keep checking to see if they have download cards. Nope, I don't see a download card with this. But yeah, it's a performance from 2002. As it says here, a benefit concert for striking firefighters. And so you've got a mixture of songs from The Clash and from the Mescaleros, and Mick Jones makes an appearance. But yeah, there's a lot of really good songs by the Mescaleros on here, and then some classic ones from The Clash from all eras. I mean, you've got Rudy Can't Fail, but then you've got White Man in the Hammersmith Palais, and then London's Burning. They don't have anything. Oh, Police on My Back. And Police and Thieves. So they do have some from Sandinista. But, and they got Mick Jones featured on White Riot as well. And London's Burning. So yeah, Mick Jones makes a significant appearance during this show. So very, very happy that I found this. And as I say, it's a really, really excellent live concert recording. Sound is good. It's a solid 4 rainbow record for me. It's not a 5 rainbow one because some of the arrangements for some of the songs were kind of, they weren't all that great. I think the arrangements, though, for the Mescalero songs were really, really, really good. Some of the arrangements for the Clash songs were a little on the weak side, but overall, really, really solid album. 4 rainbows. So still in that store, I'm picking up records because Anytime I see records by this band and I don't have them, I'm going to be adding them, and that's Calexico. And this one here is Hot Rail, 2000 issue. So this came out right after the amazing album of theirs, The Black Light, from 1999. Legendary album, such a great album, which and I have. It's just, this covers more of the territory of what became known as Nuevo Huevo, the kind of the style that Calexico was doing with this blending of folk and northern Mexican style of music and folk music and mariachi, just a lot of that going on with this amazing and surreal storytelling going on. I mean, it opens with this really expansive and cinematic song, El Picador. So you got John Burns doing guitar and vocals, and his vocals are just so amazing. And John Convertino on drums. So they're kind of continuing with some experimentation in sound that sometimes really works well, but doesn't always work quite as well. I mean, especially in light of the fact this is something being released right after The Black Light. You got the Ballad of Cabby Hogue. Starts off with this line, "I live out yonder where the snakes and scorpions run." I mean, some of these lines in the song are just really great. You've got the song Fade, which is a longer, more than 7-minute long piece. Perhaps that's the one song on here that captures the mood of The Black Light the most effectively. It's got this like dark, foreboding Miles Davis sound, 70s sound from, Bitches Brew, but it's also got, especially by the trumpet that's going on, very, very, very much so there. But it's also held together with this really subtle guitar that reminds me a little bit of Slint and even to a degree Velvet Underground, circa Heroin. This does have a download card. So just pause your video and you'll be able to get that information. Then there's the song, the instrumental that closes out side one, Muleta. It's a very solid instrumental, acoustic and electric guitar blending together. There's some great trumpets in that. Side two opens with another instrumental that's really solid called Midtown. But yeah, there are some songs that are a little bit weaker, but I'm giving this 3.5 rainbows, and not because it's a mid-album, but because this album is like better than a lot of mid-albums by other bands. Just in terms of the entire catalog, that's probably Calexico. That's probably how I would rate that. A Calexico record that is stronger is this one here. This is Garden Ruin. And just like with all Calexico, I mean, I love the album artwork, that goes into this. On the back, you've got this, it's like this person sitting in the tree and their feet there. And then you've got this raven on the front. And yes, this one has a download card. So just pause the video so you can get that. Yeah, this is a bit stronger, but it's also more mainstream. This is when Calexico, with their sound, kind of moved away from what they were doing before with the deep textures of their sound. And yeah, this is more mainstream songwriting. And also, I believe this is the first record they did without any instrumentals. mean, this is like their 11th release, I think. The other one, Hot Rail, was their third. So this is kind of more of an alt rock, alt country even feel to it. Even more radio friendly to some degree with the songs and the songwriting. Still very solid material. The opening track, Cruel, has an environmental theme, and it really starts off with the line, "Cruel, cruel grounds leak truths never found." Just really good song about environmental issues and pollution, particularly in that area of southern Arizona. They're from Tucson, with the mining and with other things that were going on, and left the ground poisoned. There's Bisbee Blue, which is a song. It's an ode to the mining town of Bisbee, Arizona, which if you've never been to Bisbee, Arizona, it is such a cool place. It's home of the Copper Queen, which is one of the largest open pit mines perhaps in the world. It's closed now, but it was a copper mine. And Bisbee Blue, around copper mines, you will find a lot of turquoise. And Bisbee Blue is a particular color of turquoise that is unique to that region, found only in Bisbee. And plus, the song apparently was recorded in Bisbee as well. It's has definitely a more pop structure and feel to it, but it's still a really, really solid song. Letter to a Bowie Knife it's one of those songs that marries kind of a bright and buoyant rhythm and melody, alt-rock melody, but very dark lyrics. It starts off with, "This world's an ungodly place, strangled by vines unchaste." And then there's this guy's going to take his Bowie knife and he's going to cut through all this BS. Then you've got Roca, which brings the signature Calexico sound and style. That's their signature sound with that song. It's a really, really good song. Lucky Dime opens side 2. It's clearly more mainstream, both in its melody and structure. But overall, side 2 tends to blend the signature Calexico sound a little more effectively with mainstream alternative music. Overall, I give it 4 rainbows. I mean, I'm a big Calexico fan. As I say, whenever I see one of their records, I buy it if I don't have it, and I've never been disappointed. Hot Rail might be, have some weaker songs, and some of the other releases, may have some weak songs, but have been no duds so far. Just has been really, really strong. All right, moving along. See, I'm at 29 minutes, and that's why I wasn't going to be doing needle drops. I had talked about, in one of our Gunkel episodes, when we were talking about, I can't remember, 2008 or some year like that, 2011 maybe, I don't know. And I didn't have a lot of records from that year, so I was going through all the releases and picking out some ones that seemed to intrigue me. And one that I listened to was by this band called Pineapple Tree, and it was Wilderness, and I loved that album. And so I'm always looking out for it. Well, lo and behold, this shop here in Grand Haven, Michigan, they didn't have that Pineapple Tree, but they had a bunch of Pineapple Tree records. And I tell you, I've been through a lot of Chicago record stores, and I have not seen a single Pineapple Tree record in any of them. And this guy had like 5 or 6 of them. So, not sure which one I was going to get. I settled on this one, I've been calling them the Pineapple Tree, and that's not the name. It's the Pineapple Thief, okay? Yeah, Pineapple Thief. And this is the one that I got, Nothing But the Truth. This is a double album, and it was released in 2021 during the, the pandemic and the lockdown. And so what this was, a live studio recording, because, they couldn't go out and tour. So, and then they made a DVD, I believe. And so it was kind of like a concert. Everything, is live. So there are no do-overs or anything like that. And it's like an anthology, a compilation. So they have songs from various recordings. And they do have a couple songs on here from Wilderness. So this was a good choice for me to pick up because of the variety of songs on there. And I do really I still want to get Wilderness though. I mean, truly, when I was listening to that online, in preparation for that Gunkles episode, that was a phenomenal album. It's just been difficult to find because I think there's only like one vinyl release version of it, and it's was released in Britain, and I don't believe there was one ever released in the US. Anyway, it's been difficult to find. So yeah, that was a 2021 record, and I'm giving that one, 4 rainbows for that as well. Now, the next record is one that we did review on the Gunkles that I liked very much, and saw it in the store there, and here it is, Box of Frogs. All right, I thought, wow, they had this, and I thought, okay, it's not one of those must-have albums, but it was $6, and I thought, what the hell? And it's a very decent copy of it. So yeah, we reviewed this. I liked it a lot. We've got former Yardbirds getting together here with, including, we've got some guitar work by Rory Gallagher and Jeff Beck. I gave it 4 rainbows in the Gunkles review, and listening to it again, I'm standing by it. It's a good record. I really enjoy this. The best tracks, I would say, are, you've got the Frogs are John Fiddler, Jim McCarty, Chris Drea, and Paul Samuel Smith. But then you have the appearances, by Jeff Beck and Rory Gallagher. But yeah, the best tracks I would say would be Another Wasted Day with its acoustic and electric guitar tracks overlaid with Jeff Beck providing that. The Edge, the song The Edge, has got Rory Gallagher on slide guitar. And it's giving it kind of a very Foghat kind of sound. A really excellent. Just a Boy Again with David Zoll Martin on guitar is a really good song. There's great jammin' piano in the middle of that song that I really, that really stood out for me. The closer, Poor Boy, has Jeff Beck on really killer guitar work on that. But there's also this kick-ass piano section with great Watkins. And one of my favorite lines of the record is on this song, "Oh shit, I gotta get my ass out of the can." It's a fun record. Like I say, inessential. But yeah, I mean, I probably paid too much at $6 for it, but hey, it's a decent record. And then the final one here, I told you I was going to have a lot of records, and I'm up to 35 minutes now, is one, again, that we reviewed on the Gunkles, and that's this Porcupine Tree debut album on the Sunday of Life. The original was released in 1992. This copy is a remaster that was issued in 2022. And by the way, the Box of Frogs was a 1984 release. So yeah, when I saw this, I thought, okay, because I was looking again for. I really liked this record when we reviewed it for the Gunkles, and I was looking for it, in Discogs, but it was only available by European vendors anyway for the last few times that I looked, and quite pricey, and especially then when you start adding the shipping. But then I saw this, in Grand Haven, Michigan, and just really, really was amazed. And so I grabbed it. It's in like near mint condition. Does this have? No, it doesn't have a download card. So this is Steven Wilson. He's experimenting a little bit more with his voice, his vocals than he does definitely with later releases, where you get that distinctive Steven Wilson sound to his voice. There's some variations here in this record. The opening track is an instrumental that kind of sets a very definite mood. I would classify this as psychedelic music more so than progressive rock. Then you've got the next three tracks are really the strongest ones. Jupiter Island, which is like this psychedelic dance hall sound. And you've got, Steven Wilson will enunciate the lyrics very much like how Syd Barrett would do. And then you've got, Third Eye Surfer with John Marshall providing the drums. Because remember, Steven Wilson, he does everything. Every instrument and the vocals, everything. Recording and engineering genius. But on this song, you've got John Marshall doing the drums. And it's kind of a jazz fusion instrumental with some killer keyboards. And then the third song that is really good is the title song, On the Sunday of Life. This has a guest appearance by Timothy Masters playing oboe. The more you think about the every instrument, except for these exceptions, played by Steven Wilson, and then he's blending it all together. It's just really amazing with this first record. There are two tracks that reference LSD. One of them is Footprints, which is an ode to the Beatles song, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Musically, it's really, really strong. Lyrically, it's a bit weak. But then the other one is called Linton Samuel Dawson. Okay. And this is a psychedelic romp. His voice is distorted. Steven Wilson's voice is distorted to an almost, well, not even almost, to a very cartoonish quality, which I kind of like how that was done with this particular song. It's got the line in there, Linton Samuel Dawson has just reached 25. Begonia Seduction Scene, really, that song, which is, which one is it? That's song number 2 on the fourth side. That really, to me, highlights Steven Wilson's recording and mixing skill. It opens with this really, really lovely, lovely acoustic guitar, but then it brings in this ethereal electric guitar and brings it in, just the mixing is so good. And then the closer is It Will Rain for a Million Years, nearly 11 minutes. And it's a really strong closer. It's got really great guitar tone. But there is this killer bass section, like during the second instrumental section, that just blows me away. So yeah, overall, this is a really, really good debut for Porcupine Tree, or Steven Wilson. I think I gave this, I already said, I gave this 4.5 rainbows, yeah. And yeah, I'm still gonna stick by that, 4.5 rainbows. So yeah, there's my record haul, and I know I haven't been doing videos lately because I have been involved in my move, and which is just, I'm still setting things up. But I hope you enjoyed that. Please leave a comment in the down under. I enjoy getting the comments. Hit the thumbs up button. That really helps with distribution of my content. Helps with anybody, any content creator on YouTube. When you hit the like button, it really boosts the distribution of that video. And it's a great, easy thing to do to show your support. You can also find me on Instagram as NewsDude76. That's NEWZDUDE76. And I have a Facebook page called Calvin Wazoo, where you can find these videos, but other videos and other music-related content. So, yeah, I'll be getting back into the swing of things, and eventually I'll do a video showing my music setup once I have it all settled, but that's still going to be a while. And always remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.